Everybody.
Hi.
The story of John Hardy is these encounters between local artisans and designers. What we wanted to do is to continue on this heritage, having our artisans and our designers meeting with worldwide artists and giving the opportunity to expose our designers and our creative team to someone who doesn't know Indonesia, someone who doesn't know jewelry, someone who doesn't know Bali.
So when I was first approached by my gallery, Lehman Maupin, about the opportunity to work doing an artist residency with John Hardy in Bali, I immediately Googled the website and saw images of the compound, and I was interested in what it would be like to work in this amazing setting. And then when I met Guy, we had really great chemistry, and it felt like a good match. My first impression of Bali was just driving from the airport to the compound, and on the main drag from Denpasar, it's just like either side of the street, just every other place is a big workshop with everything you can imagine, like every material, like glass, wood, stone, really sophisticated things, and it's almost like you're overstimulated by.
Overwhelming.
Yeah, it's overwhelming, because it's a very high quality of craft and of making. Ask her if she'll let me try it. Yeah. Ask her if she'll teach me how to do one. Strokes. Oh, now I did it wrong because that's the black one.
Oh my God.
Teresita came here and we had a preconceived idea of what we wanted. It was the opportunity to bring an artist using our labor, our skills, our talents, using our material, recycled silver, bamboo, and work with them. After months of the program, the project is now completely different. Teresita came with her own view, her own concept. She's very conceptual, she's extremely talented, of course, but she's having a very different approach to art than we have. We make jewelry, we're very concrete. She's very conceptual.
The intention in one way or another is very different. You know, we're making products and she's making artwork, and it has been really a great experience to see how our processes overlap and how they differ. And in the spaces where they do overlap, there's been many surprises, and in the areas that they differ, it's been a great opportunity to exchange ideas and learn from one another.
So everybody thinks, okay, you go to Bali for a month, you make something that's about your experience in Bali, but it actually doesn't work that way at all for me. Because, first of all, because my process is completely conceptual and I have to develop something. I'm not that fast. I actually think that it takes a while to just absorb something. So you can either be in it, experiencing it, or you can be making something about it, but you can't do both at the same time. In fact, you can look at it when you leave. And so part of my process here has been really trying to find a way to make something that comes from everything that I've absorbed, but in an indirect way. So in essence, my whole process of making is conceptual. And I wanted to look at silver from a kind of indirect point of view, not as a physical material, but look at the kind of psychology and mythology and history of the material itself, and how it kind of how it's kind of framed within ancient cultures, but also Western imagination as well. So if you look at the history of astrology and astronomy, the sun, for example, and gold are always represented with a circle, and silver and the moon are always represented by a semicircle. And the symbols are interchangeable. So really, silver and the moon were regarded as the same essence, the same thing. And you can look at many ancient cultures, Roman, Greek, Babylonian, Egyptian, and there's this consistent reference to silver and the moon that happens over and over again.
Oh, look at what's coming.
Look at the bull here, turn. Can you get that? That's fantastic. So they had the big cremation ceremony.
Wow.
We wanted to expose our designers and our artisans to an international artist and do it once a year. And what we're offering to this artist is Bali. Bali is a place with a soul. Bali is a place which is extremely beautiful. Bali has inspired a lot of artists in the last 300, 400, 500 years. There is craftsmanship and artisanship here, which is unique. It's a place where a lot of people get inspired, maybe because of the beauty, because of the spirituality, the soul of the island, maybe because time has a different value here. And so people come out of their day-to-day, their routine, and they're exposed to something that they were not expecting.
Bali, which is a very particular island within Indonesia, it has its own religion, it has its own language. There are many things here that are really particular to Bali itself that have been preserved, and this was part of my research as well as a kind of visitor to sort of see what was behind the scenes. And one of the interesting things about Bali is that it runs on 3 different calendars. So they use a Gregorian calendar, Western calendar that we use, modern calendar for practical purposes, but they also use a lunar calendar, and it's very much in effect. So major holidays, planting of rice, all kinds of superstitious beliefs, but really kind of in place and practical planning of events happens around this lunar calendar, which is called Saka. It's a Hindu calendar. So all of this research and all of this information that I've been accumulating basically will culminate in this project that I'm doing that threads together these ideas of silver and the moon and being in Bali and the phases of the moon. What I will make is a print project which consists of 30 images, which is the phases of the moon are 29.5. We call it 30 for practical reasons. And the calendar is actually adjusted in Bali as well, except for in villages that are not modernized at all. We compensate for that half a day. And so with the phases of the moon, I've been taking nocturnal photographs, nighttime photographs of the light of the moon in silver. And I've been using some of the hammered silver that's produced at John Hardy as a kind of reflector, and really taking pictures of silver itself, reflecting the moon. The surface of the hammered silver looks identical almost to early representations of the moon, early drawings by Leonardo da Vinci and Galileo of what the surface of the moon looks like. So it's a sort of very poetic reference to silver and the moon, but I'm really photographing the silver itself. The idea is that the 30 images will be installed in the room, and so as a viewer, when you enter the space, you will be surrounded by 30 images representing the moon printed on silver so that they are reflective and also in the process of tarnishing and becoming dark.